Hey Brian, so I know you're currently under me right now, but you're still my co-host. Don't worry, don't worry. I want to also congratulate our podcast because we finally realized we have too much testosterone in this podcast group. So for the first time, I'm just kidding. Welcome Stacey and Randy to our podcast. All right, welcome everybody.
Welcome, guys, to Cut the Net.
Welcome guys to Cut the Nets.
That's low-key a hot take, but I agree with it.
I don't care, Barbara. If he can't throw a football, get him
Barbara.
Be in a bad way, but they're playing like nitty gritty. Like
Brian, hit the gym board. Look at that.
This guy.
Yeah. No. Like I'm saying that Jalen Brunson will play really well in the playoffs.
Oh, then yeah, I did misunderstand you.
Yeah, you misunderstood me. In his veins. You guys haven't been relevant since Cam Newton.
We're basketball podcasters. We're not Met Gala attendees, dude.
You know what's great though? The fact that Brian is over you. He's literally over you and literally looking down on you.
Was that necessary? Really? Do you feel better
sold
after having said that, Jeremy? Like, oh my God, you got embarrassed enough. Okay, I'll take the hat off. I'm sorry. My bad, guys. Here, I got a Vegas hat here. I'll put this one on. Always a great time at Cut the Nets, fellas.
Welcome, Stacey and Randy. Randy, he is the owner of BSP, making a second appearance, long awaited since episode 2. We are forever in his debt, and he just does great things for all of us riders. So we appreciate Randy for having him on. And Stacey, she covers the Warriors and Portland Trailblazers, and she is a very talented writer as well. I just published her Warriors season ending report of the last couple of days. So, but yeah, this is Cut the Nets episode 26. Didn't pick a jersey on who wore number 26. Anybody know right now who wore number 26?
Spencer Dinwiddie.
This is the Spencer Dinwiddie episode, the player who is on the Nets for the second stint, who wasn't able to contribute as much as he should have in the 2022 Western Conference Finals. But yeah, let's get it rolling, guys. Let's talk about the NBA Finals, Game 2. All right, so Game 2. Did you guys expect the Heat to win Game 2? Give me a yes or no.
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 Yeah.
Wow. It was a no for me, too. I said Nuggets in 7, but I feel like the Heat would win all their Miami games. But they actually stole one on the road, winning against a team that was undefeated at home in the entire playoffs. Difference between Game 1 and 2, they actually started Kevin Love instead of Caleb Martin, who was apparently dealing with a sort of injury or maybe like a sickness. Eric Spoelstra's game plan this time around was to make sure Jokic wasn't passing, wasn't getting assists. And if you look at the Denver Nuggets starters, he only had 4 of them. 4 assists, which is a huge low for Jokic given that he is a triple-double machine, probably the best player on the planet at this moment. He still had a double-double in 41 points and 11 rebounds, but when Jokic has 4 assists, he clearly indicates that the Heat were all over the passing lanes. They were switching from zone, then they switched to man-to-man. Like, they weren't using their typical zone defense that they did against the Celtics. They actually were using both types of defensive mechanisms against the Nuggets, and they really couldn't make adjustments in the second half down the stretch, which ended up having the Miami Heat win Game 2. I want to go for Brian here. So why did you say no? That you thought the Heat wouldn't win Game 2?
So I didn't think the Heat were going to win Game 2, just for the sole fact that, like you said, Jeremy, Nuggets were undefeated at home. There were guys like Anthony Davis, LeBron James, Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, superstars that I'd put ahead of Jimmy Butler that couldn't win in Denver. And then you had the fact that Tyler Herro was still out. Caleb Martin is dealing with some sort of flu-like symptoms, altitude sickness, whatever you want to call it. And I think that the bigger factor here was in Game 1, the Heat looked sloppy. I mean, the Nuggets weren't even doing anything crazy. It was simple pick and rolls. Aaron Gordon for Jamal Murray. They get Aaron Gordon stuck on, or Gabe Vincent gets stuck guarding Aaron Gordon, and that's why Eric Gordon had such a great Game 1, and they were just constantly feeding down low, controlling points in the paint. I thought I had Nuggets in 6 coming into this finals, but I thought Denver was going to sweep in Denver the whole postseason. But the Heat definitely surprised me, stole a game here, and I think it was because they looked much better on the defensive end.
Yeah, they definitely did. I mean, you can see the plus minus right now. I mean, Gabe Vincent was their top leading scorer. I even predicted Gabe Vincent to have a really good series so far, and he's had a very good 2 games, even though they lost game 1. Plus 22 is where you really get the job done in plus minus. I want to go to Randy. Why do you think the Nuggets were supposed to win game 2? Like, why are you saying no as well?
I think mostly because with the Nuggets being one of the most consistent teams in the NBA, you look up and down their lineup, this has been the most cohesive team in the league compared to Miami. Miami's played a lot of teams that have maybe 1 to 2 to 3 options. Denver's got a lot of different options. And if everybody's clicking on the same cylinder, and like they do at home, because Denver struggles on the road, you sort of have to give them the upper hand. And Murray, Porter Jr., Gordon, Jokic, and some of the others, look, they're tough to beat. They're just tough to beat at home. You know what they say? It's not a series until you win one on the other team's home court. So now it's a series. And Miami, look, I think the key to this whole entire thing, you have a lot of undrafted players on Miami. They have all bought into Spoelstra and Pat Riley's culture that they've developed in Miami. And they believe. They're not supposed to be here. They're an 8 seed. We're supposed to be talking about Milwaukee, Boston, and Philadelphia right now. And Miami is here in the finals, tied at 1 with the best team in the Western Conference.
Yeah, no, I mean, you really hit the nail on the head with that that team cohesiveness. It's just that I feel like Spoelstra's coaching style this time around, he wasn't allowing any other player besides Jokic to get the ball. I mean, you saw Aaron Gordon only 7 shots. Michael Porter Jr., athletic, possibly going to be a future star in the making, I'll say. 2 for 8. Jamal Murray, who usually has a 20-point-plus game every game in the playoffs, had less than that.
They had a shot, though. Last shot of the game. Murray had a shot that he has hit before. That's the thing. It was right there. If he hits that shot, we're going to overtime. Denver had gained momentum. They wiped out that lead in the 4th quarter. Right there.
Yeah. No, they did have a shot to take it to overtime. I want to get to that later, but let's get Stacey's point as to why she knew the Heat were going to win game 2.
I didn't know, but I thought. So I think it's, and Jimmy Butler touched on it in his post-game conference, the not give a shit factor, where, like you said, Denver is unbeaten at home, and there is something to that, like, going into the game being like, as long as we do what we're going to do, we're going to take this game, have a 2-0 lead going into game 3. But having that kind of chip on your shoulder where it's like, what do we have to lose? And they have done that consistently to Milwaukee, to New York, to Boston, where it is just hold nothing back. What do we have to lose? Just go for it. And they did just that.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, the Heat just don't have any sort of high expectations from anybody. They are as small as an underdog can be. I mean, you had Milwaukee and Boston, 2 contestant teams who were destined to go for the finals. They were mostly, remember that that piece we all wrote where we all agreed, hey, these are going to be teams that are going to go to the finals? No one picked the Heat.
No one.
Nobody
I
picked
picked
the Heat.
Boston. I thought for sure Boston was going to take them. I was like, oh, well, good for Jimmy Butler. Like, they've done really well, but Boston's taking this.
Yeah. I mean, that's what we thought after Boston nearly came down 3-0. But they just completely lost steam in Game 7, losing by 20 or so points. I thought it was going to be the other way around, too. I mean, like that last shot that Derek White did a putback point with 0.1 second left on the clock. Like, that should have been a momentum shift. But no, the Heat, again, they don't give a shit.
Yeah.
They don't care if they're being told, hey, how are you winning these games? You're not the team we want on the national media. We don't care about you. They don't care about you either. Like, that's the point. That's the point with the Miami Heat team. They don't give a shit about anybody's opinion that's in the NBA, whether it's Stephen A. Smith or Skip Bayless or JJ Redick or anybody who's like at a high status in the NBA media. They don't care. This entire NBA media that makes money, ESPN, they're all dumbfounded. They're all very, very dumbfounded about this. And
you mean the quote unquote analysts and the guys the insiders who are supposed to know everything?
Did I pinch a nerve in you, Randy?
Look, you and I had a conversation earlier about the quote unquote insiders. So,
yeah, that's true. I mean, again, it really speaks volumes as to how each team defies the odds in making NBA Finals. I mean, this is the first time an 8 seed's made an NBA Finals since '99. So,
well, yeah, it's the first time they've won a road game since the '99 Knicks.
Wow.
Pain.
Yeah. That's what I want to bring it up. Because Brian's right here, a huge Knicks fan, and
Sorry.
Brian, Brian, you were born in what, 99, 2000?
2001.
So you don't even remember. You weren't even live when the Knicks made the finals. The last time they made the finals.
That's true.
I'm sure your family and New York relatives and friends who were alive during that time were very, very flabbergasted during that time.
Yeah,
Randy included.
Listen, the last time the Knicks made the finals, and I think Zach would agree, nobody expected the Knicks to make the finals. Again, another 8 seed, knocking out the number one Miami Heat back then off of a Allen Houston jump shot at the buzzer to knock out the Miami Heat. Found a way to knock out the Indiana Pacers in the conference finals, losing to the San Antonio Spurs and Tim Duncan and David Robinson. Getting
in a real 8
guys.
Seed, not a play-in 7 seed, losing to the Chicago Bulls.
That was their decision. That was the Heat's decision to lose that game against the Hawks. I mean, they could have won and faced Boston early.
I don't think they want to say, you know what, I think we should lose this game. I think this would be a really good idea if we just don't try. I don't think that's what they're really saying.
They didn't really seem to try. Like, they were just literally very lackadaisical. I mean, they were in home court too. They were in their home court in Miami, losing against a team that shouldn't even be there. Like in the Atlanta Hawks with turmoil, there's chemistry issues, looking to trade Trae Young, even when they were talking about during the playoffs. Like, that's crazy. So
yeah,
the Heat are a very special AC team. I'm gonna call them the AC team. I'm gonna call them, even though they were the 7th seed. Hey, this is the play-in tournament. This is Adam Silver's world, and we're living in it.
Because you said that too, that they're saying during the playoffs. I had the Hawks general manager say to me, to my face, without saying a name, we might be moving a very popular player because he doesn't fit with my vision of the team.
Is this insider shit too?
Fields, the president of basketball operations.
I hope this is an insider shit where we're like, we'll get backlash or flacker for bringing that up. I mean, I know everyone knows about trading Trae Young now. I mean, that's definitely a topic of conversation. I mean, it's about 2 months old now. Yeah, the train did also agree with that too. So let's transition into Game 3 preview. I know it's going to be a couple days away when they head to Miami, but with this sort of high that the Heat are going for, winning a game on a road, which is what you're supposed to do. If you're the away team, the lower seed, you're supposed to win at least one game, take a game away from the home team, and that's what they did. They mission accomplished. Now they're heading to Miami with that momentum, with that feeling that, hey, we like edged a team that is clearly on paper better than us, but we don't give a shit. What are the Denver Nuggets having to face in terms of adjustments and how they're going to handle this new Heat game plan going to Game 3?
Yeah, I mean, I think the Heat definitely have the momentum going into Game 3 in Miami on Wednesday. I mean, they did what no team in the playoffs has done, and that's win in Denver. It's rumored that Jimmy Butler gets his sidekick back, Mr. 21 point per game, Tyler Herro, who I was thinking about this last night, might be the best white American-born player in the NBA. Because I don't think there's many I can name. Like, if you're going like in their prime, it's Kevin Love, but like right now it's Tyler Hero.
Brian, you want to transition to this shit now? You want to?
Oh yeah, I'm saying, but it's Tyler Herro.
The best white American player in the NBA, quote unquote, from Brian Ramos.
Yeah, but they get Tyler Herro back. That's much needed shooting. That can help their team. Now they can definitely be a little bigger offense or on defensive end, so you won't see those switches that Denver gets to want. You'd probably see a start, assuming Hero's like good to go. Like he broke his hand, hasn't played all season. Assuming he can go and he's good to go and he can be the player he's known to be, you'd probably go Tyler Herro. But you'd probably Gabe Vincent would drop down, and it's a much bigger team. So Aaron Gordon won't be picking on Munchkins playing with his food as much. I think that and also it's more trust with the undrafted free agents or role players, like his teammates, Jimmy Butler likes to call them. I think he definitely have the momentum going into Game 3. If you're the Heat, you gotta think split worst case scenario. Try to go for the sweep because it's going to be trouble going back into Denver. But I was also very impressed with the game that Christian Brown had in Game 2. Had 6 points in 15 minutes. Usually he's not asked to be that much of a scorer while playing great defense. And on the flip side, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope probably had his worst game in the playoffs. But
you mentioned Tyler Herro hoping to come back in Game 3. I believe there was a report on NBA Central, the account on Twitter. They reported that Tyler Herro's hand is still very sore, and he's not sure if he wants to come back to play because he thinks he'll ruin the current chemistry that the Miami Heat team has. Having that heard from Tyler Herro is sort of a mixed bag for me because, yes, they need him, without a doubt. But if you're Eric Spoelstra and you have Tyler Herro, in shoot-around, making three-point shots as he was recorded in the series ago, is that if you're a coach, if you're Eric Spoelstra, you're going to want to put him on the bench. Yeah, see, NBA Central, Tyler Herro is still experiencing soreness and swelling in his shooting hand after shooting workouts. That's also concerning because you want to put Tyler Herro on the bench when he first starts. He hasn't played a game in about 6 or so weeks since round 1, Game 1 against the Bucks. And so you're not going to immediately put him in the starting lineup. You're going to want to put him on the bench. Maybe have him go limited minutes to see how he kind of gels with the current team chemistry and how his hand is feeling.
I totally agree with that, where if you need him, you want to have him. And just because he plays doesn't mean he has to start and play all the minutes. And if it is messing up the chemistry, then by all means adjust. But he is a game changer when he's in there. So they want to win the finals. Why not have all of your best pieces available at least to you? So I think that if Miami wants to put their best foot forward and try to claim these 2 games at home, which they need to do if they want to win the finals, they need to have him available. Obviously don't push him. If his hand really is still that bad, then take him out. But if he's available, if he's okay to play even just a quarter of the time of the game, then use him for that and be able to get at least extra points on the board and bring you up.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. I definitely think he should come off the bench because he's still going to be rusty. And, I'm pretty sure that was on his shooting hand, so who knows how that'll affect his shot and stuff. But I kind of honestly don't get the, chemistry narrative because the Heat have always been the same team. The only new player that gets minutes is Kevin Love, and he's not even that impactful of a player. The core guys of Jimmy Butler, Tyler Herro, Gabe Vincent, Bam Adebayo, that's been their whole team, even Kyle Lowry. So I think they all necessarily know how to play with each other. And honestly, in terms of their role and their style, Tyler Herro and Duncan Robinson aren't even that far off. I mean, obviously Herro's much better, but in terms of what their role is to do is just shoot the ball and score. I don't really get the chemistry narrative. I mean, obviously there's the health factor. If he's not good to go, and don't rush him. Have him come off the bench. But I think you shouldn't rush him back, but I think you definitely need him to win this series if you really want a chance. I mean, I think the best way to go is to see how Game 3 goes, and if Miami wins that, obviously you want to win as fast as possible, like sweep, gentleman sweep, whatever. But if you win Game 3, you really kind of have the momentum shift to build off of. So, like, Game 4, also still in Miami, like, if you, like Jeremy said, don't want to rush him back or afraid to mess up the chemistry, you can still have that 2-2 swing and see how it goes. Or you could even Herro's a big help when he comes back looking like normal, and now you're up 3-1.
I look at it a little bit differently. I think there's points where you can put him on the floor and use him as a decoy to help spread the offense out a little bit, and also spread Denver's defense, which will give Butler, Vincent, Strus, and some other guys the ability to go to the basket, because Herro can be a good shooter for them. He's a little bit of a different dimension of a player for Miami, but again, 6 weeks off is a big thing, and coming back in the finals, team chemistry is one thing. It's being able to contribute in a positive way without ruining what these guys have been able to do. These guys have come together without him to beat Milwaukee, to beat New York, and to beat Boston. And it's not saying that Tyler Herro cannot contribute to what they're doing. I don't think we should be looking at him as the same 21 point per game scorer as we did during the regular season. I think you have to look at him as if you can get 5 or 6 points out of him, it's a win. I don't think you rush him back out there. I honestly think if they start him on the bench in Game 3, and if they're rolling, hold him off till Game 4. Hold him off. If you don't have to put him in there, Erik Spoelstra doesn't have to show all of his cards. He can go out there and just play with what he's had and have Herro come in and be a bonus. I like the idea of him going in, spreading the floor, opens up more lanes for Jimmy Butler and some other guys to get to the basket. It gives Adebayo more space to maybe maneuver inside, because he's had his hands filled the first two games with Jokic. I just think there's a lot going on there that they can do by having Herro on the court, but I also understand if they don't put him on the court as well.
I like that take, Randy. I think that's a very telling. As far as y'all's, all y'all's takes really good too. I don't really see this as a Spoelstra decision. I think I see this as a Tyler Herro decision. I don't think I see confidence in him. Like, if I was in his shoes and I broke my hand, that would have like some sort of, that would mess with my psyche. That would mess with the way I play, and I'd have to just watch these players that I've played through the entire season go through the Eastern Conference and just run away with it without me. And that sort of confidence is lost because you weren't a part of it. You kind of feel like you're left out. You're sitting on the sideline wearing your circle hat that he wore and the weird outfits and stuff. And also he's throwing shots at Stan Van Gundy for being a bad coach. Like, he's just kind of being the.
I have to ask that, especially with those outfits that Tyler Herro was wearing. He's not going through your closet, is he? With that hat.
Dude, really, we really gotta go. No.
I'm just saying.
No,
it's a really nice fluffy hat. I'm just going.
I'm not sure. There, to my knowledge, are there any? This is not anti-PC. I swear to God. Okay. I love everybody. I support everything. Okay. Are there any gay players in the league? Like, openly gay players?
The last one that was openly gay was Jason Collins. He sort of gotten blackballed from a lot of different teams, and then got one last shot with the Brooklyn Nets back in, I believe it was 2013, 2014. I think that's the year.
The NBA needs a reality check.
That goes back to the conversation we had on the show yesterday.
Yeah, but like, you see Kyle Kuzma wearing like the little pink, long sleeve dress that he didn't fit, and it went like 6 inches farther than his index finger. Like, you don't. That's a little bit metrosexual too. So I wouldn't think that Tyler Herro needs to come out of the closet. Like, I think he's I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. That is far from my knowledge of understanding whose people's sexuality is.
We've just taken a weird turn here.
You said it. You said it.
Nah, Jeremy, you put a weird spin on this.
Yeah.
It was a simple question. Did he get it from your closet? You were the one talking about.
My closet. Oh, I thought you meant, is he coming out of the closet? I'm so sorry. I'm not sure if we'll put this in or put
Jeremy,
this out,
who are you keeping in your closet?
This is why I love this show.
You hear a little knock on the door right now. Let me out.
Oh gosh. Oh gosh. Don't want to open
Now we know
Pandora's
why he's
box
moving
on
back
that.
to Houston.
Yeah, there's somebody in my closet. A lot of skeletons in my closet. Literal skeletons, literal ones. They've decayed and decomposed and stuff. I believe Randy has to head out. I appreciate your time, Randy. You've been great. Not sure if the last part was great, but that was my fault. But you know, hey, if ever you're free during a taping of Cut the Nets, please don't hesitate to drop by again. We love you. We appreciate you. Everything in the work that you do. Yeah, that's it for me.
Thank you for having me, guys. I really appreciate it. And,
Bye, Randy.
See you, Randy.
All right, Randy.
All right. Transitioning. I'm trying to figure out how to
Now I'm on
transition.
the side of you. I'm not below you.
That's good. That's good. But then Stacey's below us, which is very, very patriarchal.
Oh, that's bad.
Draymond Green
No.
has.
No.
I just said Draymond Green. What about Draymond Green? Is a cool guy. That's what I was about to say. I was going to say that. Say that. Should Draymond Green decline his player option?
No.
Is he going to though?
No.
Yes.
I think he's going to. He's going to decline his player option and become a free agent.
Yeah. He wants money.
Yeah, everybody wants money. Even if you're rich, you want money. You just can't. You can't have enough of it. I mean, Stephen Curry is going to make $59 million at the end of his contract. In
Deserves it.
2025. Yeah, he deserves. I mean, does he deserve it at age 37 when he becomes that age?
Yeah.
I mean, he won 4 championships so far in his career. So.
Yeah.
But biases aside, if Draymond Green, since he followed the Houston Rockets, do you think he would be a good asset to Houston if he joins? Biases aside, Stacey, don't take away all the Warriors championships and Dub Nation and the Core 4 and.
I think that he would benefit them because I think he brings a presence where even when he's not on the Warriors, if he's not on the Warriors, but no, he does bring a presence where he fuels up the people around him, and controversial as he may be to many games and getting technicals left and right sometimes, but I think he adds fuel to the players around him, and he brings a leadership where he can bring everybody up and be like, okay, let's go. Like, don't lay back. Don't not push forward, even if you are not liking the calls, even if it's not going your way. In so many words, like, fuck it, go.
Okay. I mean, I can definitely see that. Yeah, I know you won back in the Warriors.
I do.
Yeah. Brian, biases aside, do you think he'd be a good fit for Houston Rockets?
I mean, what Stacey said makes sense, but I just don't think. Like, I think he's a good fit for Houston, but I don't think Houston's a good fit for him. Just because, and like what I mean by that is everything Stacey said, agree with. Brings a veteran presence. He's the man in the locker room. He's everything that a very young Houston team needs. With that being said, on the opposite end, Draymond's 37. Like you said, he has the 4 championships.
He's 37?
Did you say he was 37?
No, Steph Curry will be 37 by the end of his contract in 2025.
I don't know. You said 37. You threw me off. 34. I think with his skill set, his unique skill set, he's 33. He can still contribute.
We're both wrong.
He can still contribute to championship caliber basketball, which I don't think Houston's close to. I realistically see him. I think he has 2 options. He needs to also realize, because the Warriors are kind of in a cap hell right now, shows his loyalty and kind of takes like a veteran discount to stay with Golden State if they believe their championship window is still open, which I think it is. I think as long as you have Steph Curry, Klay Thompson there, you're a championship caliber team. Or it depends, does he want to play with his best friend? And I think he goes wherever LeBron goes.
Damn.
I mean,
Draymond Green to the Lakers would be very good for the team.
Well, I just think, because one, you can do Anthony Davis. You could put him back at the 4, which would keep him healthier. Draymond at the 5.
Anthony Davis is a better suited as a power forward than a center. That's why he's not getting much playing time. Well, I mean, not playing time. He's not getting much production as he did when back in 2020, whenever they won that bubble championship.
And like too is like the other thing is like Draymond loves LeBron, like shows it publicly. Like, he even said when LeBron broke the scoring record, if the Warriors had a game that day, he would have asked Kerr for permission to cut the game or cut the Warriors game and go see LeBron witness history. Like, that was already crazy enough to me. Then it was in the playoffs or a regular season game, I don't remember. A fight broke out and like Draymond was like kind of protecting his team, but he was also like staying like far away from LeBron as possible and like talking to LeBron. Like he loves LeBron. He's very adamant about LeBron. So I wouldn't be surprised to see them team up at one point. I think that would be a scary team because Draymond can do exactly what he'd be doing in Golden State with whatever he goes to. I just think that Draymond can't, even though he'd be a good fit for Houston because he's exactly what Houston needs, I don't think he can. I think he's going to be not necessarily ring chasing because he already obviously has 4 already, but I think he's going to be on a championship caliber team the rest of his career. I don't really see him going to a small market or not a championship caliber team.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, one can dream as a Houston Rockets fan. I mean, I've seen Draymond from the other side, you know, during those Warrior battles with the Rockets of the last like 3 or 4 seasons, and even though the Warriors were like 4-0 against them or 3-0. 2015 and 2016, they both won. The Warriors won both in 5 games against the Rockets, both in the Western Conference Finals and the first round because the Rockets were an A seed in 2016. 2017, they didn't face them. 2018, they should have won. The Rockets should have won, but Chris Paul had a hammy, and they also missed 27 straight threes. 2019, the Rockets just had Chris Paul was pretty much checked out of Houston. James Harden was just pretty much doing everything on his own, and they lost in 6 games. So the Warriors have won every single matchup with Houston. So on that other short end of that, Zach, again, I'm gonna lose it. You do that shit again. You're gonna ruin my take. You just ruined it, man. I was trying to say, as a person who saw it on the other side, and with the whole Houston culture that's changed, and to the point where there's really no Houston culture right now because of the fact that now Houston fans don't really want James Harden because of his poor performance in the Eastern semis, and also Jaylen Brown getting all first team All NBA, wanting like a huge large extension. Upwards to like, you know, what is it, $300 million or something like that. Like Jaylen Brown is gonna be a huge price to pay if the Rockets want him. For Draymond Green, I feel like he's a perfect guy. I mean, he's got that leadership, championship mentality. I wouldn't say the Rockets are a championship contender with him. Obviously not. They just need to grow and have a veteran presence who's been through championship after championship. For them to sort of get over the hump and have that mentality, you know. And also Ime Udoka's going to have that too. So I think the Warriors are going to sort of like run it back. Klay Thompson wants $40 million a year at least because he thinks he's the player that he once was before ACL and Achilles tear. He's not. Let's be real. Draymond Green's probably going to be the one, if they really want to keep this core, he's going to be the one that needs to take the fall in terms of pay cut and salary. 'Cause I just don't see, in terms of Klay's mindset, you know, I don't see him ever choosing or considering a pay cut to try and help this core.
Well, Klay he's not a free agent, but he has $43 million left for 1 year.
Yeah, but there could be some sort of contract negotiation, right?
I mean,
yeah,
I don't really know how that works, like in basketball.
I don't either, but I know that. But it could happen. I mean, Kevin Durant took a pay cut.
Oh yeah, that was made me think of the Warriors when they brought in Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
And several people agreed to take a little less money to keep that core together.
Yeah.
So it could happen. It's possible.
It's
Maybe
definitely possible. But that was during the year when the salary cap increased and players who didn't deserve it were offered contracts of $70 million. Let's talk about your Josh Hart, Brian, declining his player option. Is it because they're negotiating for a better contract for him to stay? Because it seems like Josh Hart loves the city of New York and doesn't really want to go anywhere else.
Yeah, so Josh Hart has publicly said earlier that he loves the city of New York, and he has his homeboy, his college boy, Jalen Brunson there. I definitely think he's just wanting to test the waters, kind of using other teams' offers, and testing out the market. I mean, I definitely think he outplayed his deal, and I knew that was going to be coming. I knew he was going to get outplay his deal. I mean, he was shooting 70% in like the first 2 weeks from three with the Knicks and stuff. It was $12.96 million if he took the option. I think he realistically gets anywhere from 15 to 17. So I'm not saying he gets this like huge payday, but he definitely will get a raise. From a Knicks perspective, I see it in one of two ways. Obviously, we pay Josh Hart. I love Josh Hart. I want him back. I think he was a great role player in the playoffs. I think the only game he looked bad in was the one he started, and that was kind of just he was thrown into that situation in the big lights. It was against the Heat when Quickly went down. So other than that, I thought he was exceptional. He was exactly what the Knicks needed to get to the playoffs and get to the 5th seed and even upset the Cavs. It was that got high-end physicality, tenacious guy that just brings that energy, which is the one thing the Knicks needed. But then there's been reports the other option is they let him walk and they try to bring in someone like him. There's been rumors that from a rival NBA executive that both the Knicks and Tom Thibodeau love Bruce Brown. Bruce Brown's a pending free agent who's also outplayed his deal. I think I think they're the same player, so I will be very mad if they re-sign Hart and bring in Bruce Brown because they're essentially the same player.
Yeah, but wouldn't that bolster defense though? Wouldn't that bolster their defense?
I mean, yes, but the Knicks also run a 9-man rotation. So who are you taking out of that rotation? Because already Rose, hopefully, they won't pick up his team option. So he's gone, but he doesn't play. Evan Fournier will be traded, but he doesn't play. So your 9-man rotation consists of
players right there.
Well, yeah, but Thibodeau already runs a 9-man rotation. So who are you taking out of these guys right now? Jalen Brunson, R.J. Barrett, Quentin Grimes played awful in the playoffs, but I don't think he's necessarily done unless you get a big-time upgrade. Julius Randle, Mitchell Robinson, Obi Toppin, Emmanuel Quickly, Isaiah Hartenstein, and then there's one other. Oh, Deuce McBride. Maybe you take out Deuce McBride because they have a lot of depth at the guard, but I think the Knicks are kind of just looking for bigger upgrades. Like I think the Knicks should attack the offseason, re-sign Josh Hart, and you sign Seth Curry because I think they don't need the Knicks aren't championship caliber. They're not ready to make their splash yet. I think that's 2 years away when you look at some of the bigger names like Giannis or something.
You need to trade Julius Randle.
So the thing is with that, and I go back and forth with it. So Julius Randle, obviously, you never know what he's getting with him, and that's the scariest part. Is you're either getting happy face Julius Randle going off for 25, or you're getting like piss poor, just chucking up bricks, building houses, Randall, that just has like a I don't care attitude. So that's the scariest part.
He's the overweight guy shooting the ball and it's smacking the top of the backboard every single time.
Yeah, but then it's also like Obi Toppin, who I've always been an Obi hater, but he has earned my respect. Despite some bad games and awful shooting nights. But I think he could fit perfectly. He fits the mold. And the Knicks also don't have a first round pick this year because they sent it to Portland for Josh Hart. So I've been seeing rumors of what Randall trades would look like. I think the best. Well, we have 4 picks next year, 4 firsts next year. I've seen Randall trade proposals, and the one I like the most is, and I think this fits every need that Jeremy and I both alluded to, was 3-point or shooting and defense. Julius Randle for Jeremy Grant and our pick back.
I think we talked about that this in conversation off the air, and it's a really good trade
for Portland side too. That could be enough to keep Damian Lillard happy.
Portland, I mean, they get a really good player in Julius Randle. The thing is, Julius Randle feels like he has to be the star. He has to be, and whenever he isn't, he pouts. It shows in his emotions. And he can't shoot or play well.
And he realized
well, he wouldn't be that in Portland. There's no way.
Yeah, you got Damian Lillard, who's a veteran, multi-time All-Star, MVP candidate in a couple of seasons, one of the top 5 points per game scorers in the league. But
see, also like going off that though, I think obviously if he goes to Portland, Damian Lillard is still the star, and that's still his team. But I think Damian Lillard can at least make Julius Randle happy and make him feel like a star. Because Damian Lillard has that kind of role. Like, people don't put enough respect on his name in the sense that he makes players better. Like, he turned CJ McCollum, took him from nowhere and made him a star. And then now he's just an average player on the Pelicans, or like a good player on the Pelicans. He made Yusuf Nurkic a pretty solid player for a while. I think he can do that exact same thing with Randall. I mean, I think he can get him back to a 25-point and efficient player, because Randall can put up counting stats, like, no problem. Like, he was like top 10 in the league in threes this year.
I mean, he was a all that contestant, then he like completely lost it.
Yeah, well, that's not here nor there. He's a counting stat player. Portland needs efficient players, and if Damian Lillard can make Randall an efficient player, and I don't know how their cap situation is. Stacey would probably know that better than me. But if they can make like some solid, like, good players, like, I don't even think they need to go crazy. If they just get like 2, 3, 4 good players, they could be a play-in hopeful, or even like
the third pick too, so they can.
They also have the third pick. That's a Brandon Miller, a Scoot Henderson. Oh man,
they have a lot of really good options. The Blazers
next to Damian.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is with Julius Randle, I feel like a change of scenery would be great for him. I mean, Portland isn't really looked at as one of the big market teams in the NBA compared to New York. You got to have a special mindset to play in New York, and I don't think New York is the place for Julius Randle, especially when the lights are shining really bright for him. So I think Portland will be a great spot for him if they do pull off this trade.
Well, and I think Lillard needs, because they have a lot of really young talent surrounding Lillard, and he needs somebody who is more experienced, because I feel like they keep doing like the building year, and that's not going to get them to the championship. And Lillard is a championship level player. He's just not on championship level teams. And I know he is very loyal to Portland, but unless they're going to bring in experience and people around him, I don't think that they're going to get there.
Assuming if they get the third pick and they get and Brandon Miller falls on, they have a lot of solid young trade pieces, like Stacey was alluding to, like Matisse Thybulle could be moved, or they got washed up former Knicks Cam Reddish and Kevin Knox that could be moved. They have a lot of young trade pieces that could be moved to kind of, like, if you make that starting deal, and I mean starting in terms of like really trying to get Lillard what he wants and seriously push for a title, get in the playoffs, you make that first move of Randall, the possibilities are endless of really building a solid team around those young assets with Lillard and Randall.
I think the perfect spot for Kevin Knox would be the Orlando Magic. Here's why. The Orlando Magic front office is terrible. They're good at picking players, but when it comes to trades and signing, they're awful. They they were totally convinced Bismack Biyombo would be a centerpiece star after Biyombo had that crazy Toronto-Cleveland series back in 2016 or 2015. And then when the salary cap rose, they they signed him for a 4-year, $72 million contract. Bismack Biyombo. And, they traded away Victor Oladipo and Domantas Sabonis in exchange for Ibaka. And that was pretty much in the tail end of Ibaka's sort of like reign. And the fact that you had Serge Ibaka on the roster with Bismack Biyombo and Vucevic is a spacing nightmare. Just a spacing nightmare. Not a really good roster distribution there. So I think if Kevin Knox goes off, if the Blazers somehow make the playoffs next year and they still have Kevin Knox, and then some reason Kevin Knox goes off for one series,
I hate Kevin Knox.
Here's why. Here's a scenario for Kevin Knox to get his shit wrecked. So you get Kevin Knox traded away or signed by the Orlando Magic off the Portland Trailblazers contract salary cap. And there you go. You got space for more players because no one's going to accept Kevin Knox in a trade.
He has a club option this year and then unrestricted free agent next year.
The team decides. So I'm pretty sure they're going to decline his club option. I'm pretty sure. Likely will decline
He'll be in
club
the
option.
Shanghai Sharks.
Yes.
Actually, he'll be in Taiwan with Dwight Howard. He doesn't even deserve Shanghai.
No, Dwight Howard doesn't want him because he kept asking for other players who are out of the playoffs. Chris Paul, DeAndre Ayton, was it Cat who was also asked to come play for Taiwan or something like that?
Yeah, I don't even
know.
know.
All the Dylan Brooks memes.
Dylan Brooks, that too. Dylan Brooks. Shanghai is Dylan Brooks' town, that's for sure. That's for sure. But yeah, I mean, I feel like the Blazers are in a really good spot. A lot better than they were last season because of that third pick in the draft. And also they have assets that they don't want that teams might think, oh, we could definitely sort of find this player that has been forgotten all these years, especially when the Knicks drafted him. They made that dumb decision to draft Kevin Knox. And we'll definitely figure out a way. We'll definitely figure out a way to make them productive on our team. So let's get him. Let's get him. So
actually, Jeremy,
I definitely.
Since now I'm pissed off about Kevin Knox, you want to know who the next two picks in that draft were? It was in my article, my Scott Perry article.
So Kevin Knox was picked number 9, correct? So number 10, number 11.
Mikal Bridges, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
Ouch. Yeah, they missed out on SGA, who's now a franchise player for OKC.
Yeah. Just continue. I'm too pissed off.
Okay.
I don't want to talk about it.
Okay. Yeah. Mikal Bridges and SGA were definitely some fine pieces for the Suns and for the Clippers that they traded away to OKC for Paul George, which they probably shouldn't have because SGA would have been a star on the Clippers. Yeah. Sorry, Brian. Knicks are stupid. Hopefully they'll get Bob Myers. Hopefully they'll get Bob Myers as the GM as he stepped down from Warriors.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, Stacey.
No.
Bob, I'll take you to a nice little place in New York City if you come to New York. We'll go to Margaritaville.
Well, I mean, he's gone, so
he's
going somewhere. He's not with the Warriors anymore.
Yeah. Hey, he was a part of the whole 4 championships, so you just gotta be proud there.
He was a large part of the dynasty that was the Warriors in the past 6 years.
Yeah.
If he comes to New York and brings 1 championship, I will custom make a Bob Myers next jersey.
Bob Myers will probably sign Josh Hart if the Knicks take him. Sign Bob Myers. He will probably re-sign Josh Hart. He'll do everything he can because those faces of Josh Hart are literally. I mean, Leon Rose. Sure, Leon Rose right now because he pretty much controls the team because Scott Perry really didn't have much of a say in anything. But Leon Rose, if Leon Rose re-signs Josh Hart, it's not only for the productivity, but for more New York Knicks memes. Oh, I love it. That picture just defines it. That picture's amazing. There's so many videos of him. What's up?
My bad. I was gonna say, wasn't that? Oh, just go.
Yes, Brian. That was when James Harden smacked his face with a basketball after he bounced it.
remember this one.
Yeah. He was like,
So good.
About the contact. Harden just lost the
yeah,
battle.
yeah,
Then put it into his own chin
awesome.
as he slammed the ball to the ground.
His facial expressions are just chef's kiss, just amazing. Like they're so unintentional too. Like it's just very genuine, and like the way he just reacts to stuff really just makes my heart just makes
Is
my
he
heart
the next
warm.
Nick Young meme?
I believe so, but he's better than Nick Young. Way better than Swaggy
I
P.
mean, yes.
NBA champion Swaggy P. Something I'm not really proud to say.
The only thing funnier are his tweets.
You want to pull up his tweet stack if you can? We'll wait. Oh, Jesus. This is gonna be cut out, but we did not go through our outline very well. We were good with Randy, but now we're just like fucking around.
Throw this in.
Whatever. I assure you, Stacey,
I
this is not how
enjoy the
things go.
fuckery.
We enjoy the fuckery when it's organized. This is not organized.
The ball.
We're supposed to be professional. We can be funny, but professional. I mean, I just want to end this podcast of just watching the white American TikTok. Can we just do that instead?
You just do it.
Just do it, okay? The fact that Duncan Robinson is flexing like this after a bully to the basket in one possession. The fact that Austin Reeves is scoring 18 points per game in the playoffs, and the Lakers are willing to give him $100 million in salary. The fact that fucking Myers Leonard was called out for saying a Jewish slur on stream, like just amazing. JJ Redick is now on First Take because he was a 3-point god. In Philadelphia and the Clippers and in First Take and in his podcast. The fact that I don't know what else to just call it. Let's go. Call it. His takes are good because he's white. I'm joking.
NBA players, they got podcasts, they got nice hair. Spot up shooters who get hounded on defense, assuming that they win to do is not a crazy pretense. American NBA players, when you inbound pass, you better beware. They come off the bench, they're the energy guys. Your uncle's favorite player, but you don't ask why. White American, the European white guys are scary.
Ending with Zaza Pachulia tripping over Kawhi Leonard in the 2017 Western Conference Finals. Kawhi did not flop. Dude, Kawhi was out, bro. Y'all, let me ask you one thing before we go, Stacey and Zach. Come on, Zach. Come on the podcast. Let's go. Before we go. Was that a dirty play by Zaza Pachulia?
What are you talking about? Of course it was. No, it actually wasn't. I don't know. I genuinely don't know. Because it's not as if Zaza directly moved right underneath him as he got up there. It was kind of like too fast for it to be dirty. I think everyone's kind of looking into it too much. But granted, I am biased, so I don't know.
Stacey, with your biased opinion, was Zaza Pachulia a dirty player? Was that a dirty play?
I'm allowed to be biased?
No, just based off what you saw.
No.
Oh my God. But yes. Hey, but yes. No. But yes,
No.
yes.
No.
It was a dirty play.
Yeah, it was.
It was a dirty play. Definitely a dirty play. Yep. Steph Curry also agrees.
Well, Steph Curry's never wrong.
Wait. Yo, Steph Curry, is that you? Is that you? Yo. He's doing the shimmy too. Steph, did you do a Michael Jackson and just like change your skin or something? Like what happened here?
You know, Riley, she wanted her dad to do this podcast today. She really did.
Oh my God, I'm lightheaded. I'm fucking lightheaded. Oh my God, I literally almost lost my consciousness. I almost blacked out there. Oh, well, that is for sure a TikTok highlight. that is the end of Cut the Nets. Hectic episode of 26. We promise we are not that dysfunctional, but for some reason, one of us had to just not be, just completely fall off the bandwagon or fall off the wagon today. I said bandwagon because we have 2 Warriors fans who literally are butthurt.
About what? I'm fine. I'm chilling. We got 4 championships in the last 8 years. I am good.
So thanks so much for watching, guys. Please not please. If you want to like and subscribe, you can. Based on this episode, it's up to you. It's up to you. Thanks so much for watching. Just cut. Just cut.
So far from the right.
30 out.